Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, delivered a strong and carefully worded warning directed at the United States, heightening tensions already simmering across the Middle East. Speaking through Iran's state-controlled media, Khamenei accused Washington of continuing hostile policies, including military pressure, economic sanctions, and support for Iran's regional rivals. He emphasized that Iran would not remain silent in the face of threats to its sovereignty, security, or national dignity. While the statement stopped short of announcing any immediate military response, its tone was unmistakably firm, signaling deterrence rather than diplomacy. Iranian officials framed the message as a defensive posture, warning that any aggressive move against Iran would be met with a calculated and decisive response. The warning appeared aimed not only at the U.S., but also at its allies in the region, underscoring Tehran's readiness to protect its interests as tensions continue to rise. Former U.S. President Donald Trump responded swiftly to the warning from Iran's supreme leader, striking a defiant and uncompromising tone. In public remarks, Trump dismissed Tehran's threats and portrayed them as signs of weakness rather than strength. He argued that during his presidency, Iran faced unprecedented economic pressure and was effectively restrained by strict sanctions and military deterrence. Trump emphasized that strong leadership and a willingness to act decisively prevented Iran from challenging the United States and its allies. While he did not outline specific future actions, Trump made it clear that any threat to American interests, Israel, or regional stability would be met with force if necessary. His response echoed his long-standing hardline approach toward Iran, reinforcing his belief that pressure, not negotiation, is the most effective way to counter Tehran's ambitions. Despite the sharp exchange of warnings and responses, neither the United States nor Iran has announced any immediate military action. However, the war of words alone has raised alarms among diplomats and security analysts worldwide. U.S. naval and air forces remain on high alert across key areas of the Middle East, while Iran continues to showcase its defensive capabilities and influence through allied groups in the region. Experts caution that even without direct confrontation, heightened rhetoric can increase the risk of miscalculation, especially when rival forces operate in close proximity. A single incident or misunderstanding could rapidly escalate tensions. For now, the situation remains contained, but the lack of direct dialogue and trust between Washington and Tehran continues to fuel uncertainty and concern across an already volatile region. Iranian officials responded strongly to Donald Trump's remarks, rejecting his claims and accusing him of fueling instability through confrontation and pressure. State-run media portrayed Trump's response as provocative political rhetoric, arguing that his policies had increased regional tensions rather than reduced them. Iranian leaders reiterated that their warnings were defensive in nature, insisting that Iran seeks deterrence, not conflict. They pointed to continued U.S. military deployments in the Middle East, ongoing sanctions, and Washington's support for Israel as the real drivers of escalation. Tehran also emphasized its readiness to defend itself against any threat, while insisting it does not seek war. The response aimed to project strength at home and abroad, reinforcing the message that Iran would not be intimidated by external pressure or aggressive language from U.S. leaders. As the exchange between Donald Trump and Iran's supreme leader continues to echo across global headlines, the Middle East remains on edge. While no direct confrontation has occurred, the tense rhetoric highlights how quickly the situation could change. Diplomatic channels remain limited, and trust between Washington and Tehran is deeply fractured. Regional allies and international observers are closely monitoring developments, concerned that a single misstep could trigger a broader crisis. The presence of heavily armed forces on all sides adds to the uncertainty, with military readiness often increasing during periods of heightened political tension. For now, the conflict remains verbal, but the standoff underscores the fragile balance of power in the region, where words alone can shape actions, alliances, and the course of future events.